Good afternoon. Welcome to Midcap Radar live from the CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal studio. I'm Sonal Bhutra. With me, as always, is Vivek Iyer. A green-looking screen, and we've seen that recovery that has come by from the lows of the day as well. Nifty, as we speak, is up around 100-odd points. We do have the Midcaps, which has staged a massive recovery. Bank Nifty is the one which is leading to the gains from the lows.
That's right. Good afternoon, Sonal. A significant recovery. We were concerned a little bit after the six-day rally was tapped, but today we are back to winning ways. We have a lot lined up on the show, some important conversations as well that we will be having. So let's start off the top headlines. Market nears the day's high with IT leading the charge. Auto and metals also eke out gains, while realty along with oil and gas drag. Midcaps in line.
The KEC International stock is under pressure after Power Grid bars it from fresh contracts for 9 months over contractual transgressions. Stock has slid nearly 6% in trade.
The Income Tax Department visits offices and units of Waaree Energies. The stock slumps 4%, even as the company says it is extending full cooperation to the authorities.
Azad Engineering signs an agreement with Pratt & Whitney Canada to develop and manufacture aircraft engine components. The stock is up 2%.
Automotive component supplier Tenneco Clean Air makes a stellar debut, listing with gains of over 25%. The management tells CNBC-TV18 they have strong tailwinds and premiumization will aid growth.
All right, those are the top headlines. We'll discuss some of these stocks in greater detail as well. For the Nifty, it's a 100-point uptick. We are above the 26,000 mark. We are higher than these levels as well. So there's a wee bit of downtick from those levels. But yes, from the lows of the day, that is a massive recovery that we are looking at. Midcaps up 130 points. The Bank Nifty, which was in the red for a larger part of the day, that has also recovered and has led to the recovery that we are seeing in the Nifty as well. A lot of broader market movers, but Nifty IT is betting for the bulls. We have consumption names which are doing well. But yes, some downtick in energy and CPSE names. So we'll be tracking that very closely. But midcaps, what a move there, Vivek.
Absolutely right. Some of the names you mentioned, have a look at some of the midcap IT names like Infosys, Coforge, all of them doing very well, and LTI too surging towards the day's highest point. On the other hand, Tata Motors passenger vehicle, TMPV, that particular stock in the last half hour has slumped to the day's lowest point. But these names, along with a whole host of other names, is what Sudarshan has on his radar. He's standing by the wall to take us through the mid-caps that are moving around in this session.
What a move market has seen. All the frontline indices have seen a huge recovery from day's low, and it's similar for mid-cap index. Now just take a look on some of the stocks. So I'll start with the names which are under pressure. First on the list is KEC International after Power Grid has barred the company from its bidding process for next 9 months. On the back of that news, stock is down more than 7%. Another company is Waaree Energies because Income Tax Department officials of Income Tax Department made a visit for the survey, and because of that, stock is under pressure. LG Electronics and 360 ONE are reacting positively to positive brokerage notes. LG Electronics had two brokerages writing on the initiating coverage. 360 ONE had positive note from Citi. On the back of that, both these stocks are up somewhere in the range of 3 to 4%. LTI has expanded its collaboration with Microsoft, and stock is reacting positively, up more than 4%. Apart from LTI, all the other mid-cap IT names are also reacting very positively in today's trade. Take a look at LTTS, up more than 8%, Persistent, Coforge, Infosys, Birlasoft. All these stocks are up somewhere in the range of 3 to 4% as well. And apart from mid-cap IT names, auto ancillary names are also trading with gains today. So Samvardhana Motherson up 3%, Sona BLW, Gabriel India, Bellrise Industries, all these stocks are up somewhere in the range of 3 to 9%. Only question is, are these names higher in the trade on the hope of trade deal? We don't know the answer as of now. We'll have to wait for that. Also, some of the stocks that are reacting negatively on top of the list is Groww. After seeing a big move over the last 5 days, today's stock is under pressure, is at lower circuit, down 10%. And Anand Rathi is saying rub of impact. It has recovered from day's low, but still down almost 1%. Physics Wala had a big up move after the listing, but today that stock is under pressure as well, down almost 7%. HBL Engineering and Rajratan Wire, these two stocks are also under pressure with big volumes.
Okay, some interesting names there. Thank you so much for joining us with all those details, Sudarshan. With that, let's move on. And it's a good time to welcome Sudeep Shah from SBI Securities for a technical check on the markets. Sudeep, do you think we'll remain at these levels throughout the session? What are the charts suggesting now?
Good afternoon, Sonal. Good afternoon, Vivek. Sonal, what I feel is that today's move, which is backed by IT, is a very welcome sign. Last few days, we have been seeing some reversal of AI flows from Nasdaq, and these IT stocks here were ripe for a rebound. So this from lower levels that has supported Nifty. So what we feel is that post that 6-7 day rally in Nifty, markets were taking support at that 25,800, 25,850 mark, and now that would act as a very important level going forward. So till the time 25,800, 25,850 is guarded, we feel that newer highs, swing highs closer to 26,200, 26,300 could be in the offing. And even for the bank Nifty, which has scaled up to newer highs, there also we feel that 58,400, 58,500 now becomes a very important support. Until 58,400 holds, we could see bank Nifty scaling up all the way up to 59,700, 60,000 levels in the coming few weeks.
Okay, Sudeep, good to see you. Sudeep, individual stocks that you're looking at in today's trading session?
Vivek, couple of them. The first one that is there on our radar is Axis Bank. Here we have seen some better relative strength in the last few sessions, while ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank is still on some kind of a sideways consolidation mode. Axis Bank has given a breakout on the weekly charts, and we feel that this can be bought with a stop loss at 1240 on the downside and upside targets of 1320. The second stock that is on our radar is Coforge. Here, the stock has given a symmetrical triangle breakout on the upside, and we feel that this could be bought with a stop loss at 1800 and a target of 1920, 1950 in the coming few sessions.
Okay, all right. Take that point, Sudeep. So some of these mid-cap IT stocks, they continue to be on our radar. And from a technical standpoint, as Sudeep states, are also looking good. But we'll do one thing. We'll slip into a short break. When we come back, we'll focus on KEC International. Also talk about LG Electronics. These two stocks are on our radar today. Stay tuned for that.
Welcome back to Midcap Radar. Well, KEC International has tanked in trade today as the company has been barred by Power Grid from its tenders. Winnie joins in with more details.
Hi, yes. So KEC is the one that's under pressure today, down almost 8% in trade. And like you mentioned, it's been barred from Power Grid for participating in any new tenders from them for a period of 9 months. And this is starting 18th of November. Obviously, why was this step taken? Because allegedly there was a transgression of Power Grid contractual provisions that were there, some bribery cases that were there. This happened in March 2025, and because of this, this bar is coming for the company. Now, obviously, in terms of details, why is this important and why is the stock falling? When you look at it in terms of tender pipeline, 1.8 lakh crore rupees is the tender pipeline. Out of that, in Q2 FY26, TD pipeline, that's TND pipeline, that's transmission distribution pipeline, is around 65,000 crores. Overall order book pipeline stands at 25,000 crores is the domestic one. So domestic is a big part, and in domestic, Power Grid obviously is one of the big clients for the company. So obviously the impact will come in terms of the future growth outlook of the company as well. The order book at 39,300 crores, of which the company said in Q2 FY26 around 15% was from Power Grid. Because of all these reasons, we are seeing that Power Grid isn't falling in trade. And obviously, key question remains that, current order book, what will that be impacted? Where orders have not already started being executed, then what is the concern on that front from Power Grid point of view? And future outlook, obviously, is a concern.
Okay, all right. That's about KEC. By the way, there is again a sudden fall that we're seeing in the markets as we speak. So just watch out for that. When we started the show, the Nifty was up around 100 points. Now it's up just 77. So yes, there is some selling that is taking place from the highs of the day as well. Similar is the case with mid-caps. It's up around 70 points, yes, but off the highs of the day. And this fall is also led by a lot with what's happening with the bank Nifty. That's up around 50 points. But again, it is off from the highs of the day. In the Nifty pack, it's UltraTech Cement, Bajaj Auto, Maruti Suzuki, some of these names which are leading to the fall from the highs as we speak. So watch out for these names. For now, let's move on. LG Electronics is the other stock on our radar. It is in focus on the back of some positive brokerage notes. Upasana is here with more details on these. Upasana?
Well, there are two positive ICs on this stock. Now, first up, Morgan Stanley has initiated coverage with an overweight rating and a target price of $18.64 per share. It believes that the company stands out in many categories in a competitive consumer durable market. On the back of this, it believes that the revenue and margin is likely to be driven by new capacity addition and even the export outlook of the company, and even heightened B2B contribution that the company is aiming at. It has estimated earnings to fall by 9% on a YoY basis in FY26 with 16% CAGR over FY26 to FY28. Moving on to JP Morgan, even this brokerage has initiated coverage on the stock with an overweight rating and a target price of $19.20 per share. It believes that the company is an attractive play on rising consumer discretionary spend in India, and it offers best-in-class superior execution. It sees gradual improvement in growth trajectory of the company, which will be mainly enabled by the macro tailwinds going ahead. On the back of this, it has forecasted a revenue CAGR of 12% and an EPS CAGR of 21% over FY26 to FY28. So both the notes are quite positive, and we can clearly see the stock in a green territory today.
Well, thank you so much, Upasana, for joining in and taking us through what brokerages have to say as far as LG Electronics is concerned. Well, we'll now slip into a short break. We'll get you more on the markets and stock-specific action on the other side. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Well, a very topsy-turvy ride for the Nifty because we saw that sudden fall from the highs, and now it's back again above that 26,000 mark. So we'll have to watch out whether this trend continues in the last 1 hour of trade, especially Nifty. It is significantly off the lows of the day, but at those levels, it's seeing some up and down. But let's talk about a lot of action that we've been seeing in the primary market. We have a new kid on the block. Automotive component supplier Tenneco Clean Air makes a stellar debut. Sudarshan is here with more details on the listing price, valuation, and what the company's financials look like. Sudarshan.
So Tenneco Clean Air has got listed on stock exchanges today, made a healthy listing at a premium of 27%. Listing price was around rupees 505 per share versus issue price of around rupees 397 per share. The company is a part of US headquartered company Tenneco Group and mainly has two verticals, clean air and powertrain solutions. That forms nearly 58% of revenue. And the second vertical is advanced ride technologies, which forms nearly 42% of total revenue. If you talk about the IPO details, it was 3,600 crore issue size. It was entirely OFS issue and was subscribed almost 59 times, and company had offered around 6.7 crore shares and had got bid for almost 400 crore shares. In FY25, revenue was down 11%, while EBITDA had increased by 33%, with passenger vehicles forming largest chunk of revenue with 63% share. Now, what's going forward? So, company is expecting export contribution to increase from the current level of 5%. Also, premiumization is going to aid the growth. And now, with change in the emission norms, company expects content per vehicle to increase. Let's listen in what management had to say.
We have very strong tailwinds. So one is we are sitting on the India Inc. story, right? So already 4 to 6% of growth we're going to see simply because of India's growth and the market growth rate. But beyond that, we have three strong tailwinds. One is content per vehicle growth from legislation, emissions legislation, and premiumization of shock absorbers. So From a clean air powertrain business, the legislation will help us, whether it's BS6 going to BS7, CAFE norms coming in, TREM 4 going to TREM 5, or on the premiumization side, because SUVs are getting premiumized very rapidly, and so the move from static to dynamic suspension is also happening very rapidly. So we expect to get a nice boost from growth from just pure content per vehicle increase. Exports is going to grow way faster, simply because we're starting from a lower base, and because the tailwinds within exports are so favorable to us right now. We think that we're going to be, again, I cannot give you the exact numbers, but very fast growth in exports. We are noticing that the end consumers and OEMs now want ride quality to be one of their key differentiators, right? And you can see that across all the Indian OEMs. So 95+% of the Indian market is conventional shock absorbers. Now we see, in fact, I would say even higher than 95%. But now what's happening is the market's moving very aggressively towards like frequency-dependent damping, and I would say even more like, let's call it semi-active suspension to even active suspension. So I think that journey is helping our content to go from X to anywhere from 3X to 4X, and in some cases even 6X, depending on the kind of technologies being used.
Well, that was the management of Tenneco Clean Air. That particular listing doing very well, up over 27% in the session today. But again, an interesting story. The rally that the shares of Groww saw today has halted, and in fact, today is at the lower circuit. Hormuz joins in to tell us more and decode the fall that we're seeing today.
Well, after 5 days of frenzy, the rally in Groww has taken a bit of a pause in today's session. It's a lower circuit now for the stock. And of course, the price band after that 5-day move was revised lower from 20% earlier now to 10%, as a result of which this is a 10% lower circuit. And as of right now, at least 2 crore shares worth of pending sell orders are currently in place on the NSE for Groww at these levels as well, at 169. So more pending sell orders are in store for Groww. Now, what happened yesterday was a money control report where it said that at least 30 lakh shares of Groww were pushed into the NSE auctions yesterday afternoon, and that happened because a lot of the traders that had taken short positions on the stock, expecting that this post-listing rally will fizzle out very soon. Contrary to their expectations, the stock continued to move higher, and as a result of which, when they could not arrange for the deliveries of those shorted shares at the settlement date, the shares got pushed into the auction into the auction. Now, there are some concerns as well that lie ahead of Groww. Valuations aside, of course, that has been a point of talking ever since the stock listed, and it continued to move higher. So that is one. Of course, there is very little float in the market. That explains the frenzied moves on either side for Groww, and a lot of it is locked up. A lot of it lies with the promoters as well. And there has been a very sharp run-up in the first few days of listing. Now, historically, stocks that have seen a very sharp run-up in the first few days of listing tend to cool off going forward. Urban Company is a case in point. Of course, you're not trying to say that the same will happen to Groww as well. But Urban Company from shares from levels of 200 plus has now gone down to 140, 150. And that is another one. And the two major triggers that lie ahead for Groww, one of which comes on Friday when the company declares its results. That will be the first after its listing. And on the 10th of December, when its 1-month shareholder lock-in comes to an end, where over 140 million shares will become eligible for trading, and that will see if there is some more supply that comes into the market, and it will be interesting to see what happens then. But for now, the first major trigger lies on Friday, a 10% lower circuit for Groww. It will be interesting to see where the stock goes from here on.
Okay, all right. That's an interesting story, and Groww has been in focus the day since it listed, and now for other reasons as well. With that, we'll do one thing. We'll take your leave on this edition of Midcap Radar, but do stay tuned. Your stocks when we return.